What is up, my fellow Monarch Monstars? It is your boy Trey of the Bat Channel, and we are back live again. It's been a while from the Bat Cave, so it is great to see everyone here. We have a lot to talk about and not a lot of time to talk about because Wonder Wife and I are literally going to go see the early fan screening of the new Accountant 2 movie with Ben Affleck and John Bernthal. So I'm excited. Yes, a review will be coming up soon on the Bat Channel for that. So make sure you guys, you already know to smash that like, share this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss those really, really cool reviews because we have a ton. We have a ton of content that you guys can check out. And obviously, if you want to follow us on one of our social media pages like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, you can do it at _Bat Channel. Instagram is a really great way to keep in touch with us, to know what's going on the Bat Channel. Especially we have our new TVCN, the Bat Channel News, that you guys can follow for entertainment industry news. That is just gaming, movies, TV series. It's going wide, global. Funny that we say that because obviously with a big video that we're going to be talking about today with Godzilla going even more global, which technically it's already a very popular character, but Toho is really thinking the time is now. The time is now to invest harder, to basically cram content down our throats over the next 3 years, which I'm here for it because I love me some Godzilla content. So you guys know, follow us. You're not going to want to miss anything on the Bat Channel. And then, of course, all of our cool videos that we've done in the last few days. You're definitely going to want to see these with our Predator Killer of Killers trailer reaction, the Jurassic World Chaos Series Season 3 review and how it saves Jurassic World Dominion, our Jurassic World Rebirth trailer reaction, and Season 2 trailer reaction. We're excited. We're going to be breaking down each episode. I know that's going to be really tough because they're releasing 3 episodes every week. We're going to have fun with it, though. And, of course, Primitive War, if you have no idea what that movie is, you need to check it out. It looks amazing. For an indie movie, time and passion went into that film, and it looks to be no joke. Like, it looks like it's going to be a great film. And, of course, we did a review to Apple TV's The Gorge. Right now, it is my favorite movie of 2025, so that's saying something. It's pretty good if you guys haven't checked it out. But before we fully, begin our stream, Super Bro Corey will be joining us in a little bit. We got off work. I had stuff going and putting things together for this live stream, kind of last minute. I know, but let's say hello to everyone in the chat. Let's see here. I see Red Hooded Outlaws. Good to see you, brother. Restore the Snyderverse guy. How you doing? We got the Butler. Good morning from Britain, my man. Joker's Wild. Sup, y'all? Trevor H. Atomic Kaiju. Arigato. Oracle's Clock Tower. How you doing? Beyond the Night. Red Robin. Yum. Pred Alien, my man. Yes, I know. I'm stoked about the new Predator animated film for sure. Bat Fanatic, great to see you, dude. Dean Classified, Monarch Eyes Only. Looks like we got unclassified kaiju news. Yes, we did. Some great stuff, too. I can't wait to talk to you guys real quick about it. The Batman Who Laughs evening. Harry Kelly, what's up? Kaiju, Crazy Crit Rowan. Good soldiers follow order. We got some we got some new people. Dark Jurassic, how's it going? Hi, everyone. First time, welcome to the Bat Channel. Glad to have you here. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss us. And a great, man, we got some great Jurassic content. You know, I love Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. I'm so stoked for Jurassic World Rebirth. I think they're going in the right direction with that one. Wayne Enterprises, good to see you. Welcome, Bat Fam. Death Star Killer Unleashed. How you doing? King Donkey Kong, the king is here. And, of course, Super Bro Corey on his way. And, one last minute one. Eric, good to see you, dude. Great to have you here, Eric. Appreciate you always stopping by and hang out with us. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. do we have a lot to talk about today for this show. It's crazy. It's Toho. I mean, we already knew Godzilla's kind of been on top lately, right? I've always said it's been a damn good time to be a Godzilla fan because just in 2024, we got a black and white version of Godzilla minus one. We got Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. We got some new Godzilla comics. We got hell in 2023 Godzilla minus one did come out. We got the Monarch Legacy of Monsters TV series on Apple TV. It's just been so much Godzilla content that really we've never really had anything like that before as Godzilla fans. We know there was the drought of Godzilla content from 2004 to 2014. It was a tough time to be a Godzilla fan, and honestly, it was kind of a weird thing to be a Godzilla fan because I felt like if you told people, at least when I was a kid in mid to late 90s, you told people you're a Godzilla fan, you kind of get the weird looks. Hell, even Super Bro Corey, my co-host, used to give me the weird looks of being a Godzilla fan. But now when you say you're a Godzilla fan, it's like everyone's like, yeah, we get it. That's cool. And that's awesome. That makes me so happy inside. And it looks like Toho is really seeing the opportunity, the door opening, and they're seizing it. They're seizing the day, carpe diem, kaiju style, with all this crazy Godzilla content that's coming out. But before we go directly into Toho, there's some cool stuff I want to talk to you guys about with what some of the legendary MonsterVerse is doing with Godzilla Kong and their continuation. Obviously, with Godzilla X Kong or Godzilla Kong 3, however you want to call it. They're doing some really cool stuff there with Grant Spador. So we'll talk about that. But one of the main things is Kickstarter just opened up a new campaign for a new MonsterVerse tie-in comic, this time that directly connects to Monarch Legacy of Monsters. That's right, folks. Monarch: The Last Lost Adventures. They're coming out with some new comics. These are some of the covers that you see, and it looks beautiful. I mean, the fact that it looks exactly like the show, it's not like some of the other MonsterVerse comics that had Shaw's character in it, and it looks nothing like the Russell. So that makes me happy that they're continuing on with those characters, maybe giving us some inside stories, which is awesome. But more importantly, here, let me share my screen here. As you know, Corey's usually my guy in the chair working the stuff. So I'm going to try to show you guys some of the cool things that are coming up with this Monarch: The Lost Adventures. So hopefully you guys can see what I'm checking out here. And it's already raised over $15,000. Literally just opened up pretty much today. You have until Thursday, May 15th to put in your pledge for the comic. There's many different packages that you guys can do to get it. Obviously, I'm already one of them. I've already gotten myself, put myself in for a copy. But you can do variant covers. The writer's going to be Paul Cornell, artist Drew Zucker, colorist Brad Simpson. And it's going to feature 5 all-new stories, which sounds awesome already because we're going to get back to the USS Lawton with the Iron Dragon, Billy Randa. I'm loving that. I really enjoy it, especially because it seems like it's going to focus heavily on what we called the legacy cast in Monarch Legacy of Monsters rather than the present day cast. It looks like Kate and May are going to make an appearance a little bit, but based off some of the pictures that I saw of some of the artwork that were in there, it's mostly going to be about our legacy cast, which is great. I would prefer that. But so many cool stuff. I love all these covers. You get through the different packages, as you can see. You can go through it yourself, but different things. I think I did this $75 standard cover concept art bundle. Thought it was really cool. You get this little nameplate that they sign for you, and some of the concept art profiles from Weta, who does a lot of the Godzilla animations, which looks great. I'm glad we're seeing some of those creatures and kaijus and titans that we saw before. So I'm excited for that. Make sure you check out the Kickstarter. Put in a pledge if you want. If you want a little bit of a cheaper option, they do have it where you could just do the digital version. So make sure to take a look at that. All right, let's get back to our PowerPoint here. Godzilla X Kong 3, also known as the Project Zeus, which a lot of people are theorizing that maybe this could be a war on the Titans. Maybe mankind's finally fighting back to trap the Titans in Hollow Earth, which is kind of a cool concept, especially the fact that Zeus trapped the Titans in Greek mythology. I like that. I kind of dig that concept, but unfortunately, it's been delayed another year. I can't remember. I think it was Zelda. The new live action Zelda film is going to be taking the original date that Godzilla X Kong. So it's unfortunate that we have to wait a whole nother year, but I would rather them do the film right, make sure the CGI looks great, and to really hone in on their story and just make it a good film, because we enjoyed Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. I did feel it's really gotten a little bit out of hand in terms of how crazy we got. I'm not saying that like Gareth Edwards was so grounded and it needed to stay in that tone, but I just think with how fun that film was, it'll be nice to kind of really put the threat level back. I didn't feel like Scar King was all that big of a deal. Godzilla, once he evolved, pretty much shut him down like it was no problem, and really even Shimo couldn't like go up against evolved Godzilla. So it'd be nice to have a true threat that really challenges our Titan heroes, and maybe puts in back that fear factor of humanity, where King Ghidorah, King of the Monsters, he was basically destroying the earth. Scar King didn't really get an opportunity to do that. So I'm excited, but yes, it has been delayed. But breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, this literally came out from Deadline while I was setting up the stream just an hour ago. We have a new cast member coming to the new Godzilla film. And you know what? I think he's going to look recognizable, especially if you're a big Jurassic Park fan. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite actors, because it's my favorite character from Jurassic Park, Sam Neill is going to be in Godzilla X Kong 3. Right? I'm super stoked for that. Like the fact that we're getting Sam Neill, who I think is just a wonderful actor. I love seeing him back in Jurassic World Dominion. He was great in a movie called The Horse Whisperer. I don't know if anyone's ever seen that, and many others. But to have him there, I think sci-fi fans are really just going to appreciate it. He adds a level of seriousness, being a New Zealand actor. As we know, Godzilla X Kong is being filmed in Australia right now, so it's just across the pond for him to start filming this. So I'm excited. The fact that we're getting Sam Neill, ladies and gentlemen. No news yet about what exactly his role will be. We've kind of gotten some inklings of what other people have set up for their character. Like there's going to be a brother-sister relationship. One of the characters is going to be the boss of maybe this monarch secret organization. Well, I guess it's not so much secretive anymore. But the fact that we're getting Sam Neill in a Godzilla movie, to me, this is like the best of both worlds. We're getting you know what that means. Super bro, Corey, how's it going, dude?
Sam Neill's here?
Yeah, buddy. Isn't that awesome?
Ooh. Dang, dude, that has me pumped up, buddy. Pumped up.
I love the idea that Sam Neill is going to be in a Godzilla film. Like I was saying earlier, like being a Jurassic Park and Godzilla fan, like I couldn't ask for something greater than this. It's just, I'm so happy that he's now going to be a part of this 70-year legacy of Gojira, and he's going to put his own.
He's going to be Alan Grant still. It's going to cross over, yes, Jurassic Park and the world of Godzilla into one big giant theme, buddy.
I like that concept, dude. I
Mm.
really do. Corey,
What's up, buddy?
now that we've heard, first off, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Just got back from work, so yeah, man,
I
doing
appreciate it.
good.
Thank you for showing up. I know when I texted you, you're like, what time we doing the show? Like literally right after I get off work, so that way I can get off and go to the movie.
Nah, man, I'm pumped. When you were telling me all the stuff that was happening in the Godzilla world, I was like, we got to let the people know. They got to know.
They got to know because it's really crazy. Like some people could say the amount of the investment that Toho Studios is putting in to Godzilla, especially over the next 3 years, you could say it's a gamble because sometimes do we ever go, I mean, as we saw with Marvel, as we saw with DC and many other IPs, when studios tend to crank out the content, it tends to um, oversaturate it. The audience gets bored very quickly, right? And they end up wanting to move on, and it's just like, good God, like this needs to end. I mean, the crazy part is Godzilla's been around for 70 years, and it doesn't seem like he's slowing down anytime soon. Obviously, with Godzilla minus one being a huge box office success that even Hollywood had to take notice for the budget being less than $15 million and gaining over $60 million in the box office. It did so incredibly well that, you know, it's just a great time to be a Godzilla fan for sure. What's up, Sergeant Guillotina? Saying Lost World was the first of the Jurassic movies I watched, and I remember getting the RV trailer back in Christmas 1997. Oh yeah, dude, that's cool. Yeah, the Lost World was my first movie that I saw in theaters too of the Jurassic Park franchise, and I probably saw the original Jurassic Park a little too early in my day, but I don't regret it one single bit because I'm now crazy for Jurassic Park and Jurassic World and Godzilla and all that stuff. So, really, really cool stuff. Corey, have you read any of the Monarch the comics, the Legendary Verse comics? I know I've told you about a couple of them.
I have not. I have not, but I want to. That's for sure. You know, there was, oh gosh, a couple months ago, bro. We were, you know, Godzillaing it up on Fortnite and everything like that. So
yeah, my boy Koj.
I need to, excuse me, check it out.
Yeah, I mean, the MonsterVerse comics, I love that it fleshes out the universe and it creates a little bit more knowledge, I guess you could say. The one issue the MonsterVerse and the Legendary comics have kind of fallen into, though, is we've seen them retcon or break canon many, many times. So take the comics with a grain of salt. They don't always prove to be canon or like perfectly canon. It's just kind of fun stories within the universe of the characters and the monsters that you love. So that's, if you are interested in jumping into the Titan comics, the Godzilla MonsterVerse comics, I definitely recommend them. They've been fun reads for sure, and they keep the tones that you love from the movies and expand on them. So some cool stuff indeed. Corey, how do you feel about Godzilla Kong, the New Empire sequel film being delayed a whole year?
It's a bummer, but do it right. So I'm okay with it too. You know, if they're, you know, trying to figure everything out, that's fine. But obviously, quality over quantity. You know, we're living good as Godzilla fans right now. So do it right, because if we start cheapening the brand while we're living high like this, then people are going to start to be like, oh, you know, these aren't that good, and not really be as invested as we want people to be. So I'm okay with them taking a year, figure it out, write a good story, make quality content, and let us fans support it. So, you know, we have Monarch season 2 coming out soon. We have a bunch of other stuff popping as well. So,
there's certainly plenty of Godzilla content on the way, you know, to
100%
keep people interested and invested in the character as time goes on, for sure.
Absolutely.
Should we get into what the big announcement was from Toho?
Absolutely, bud.
Let's go ahead and do it. So Toho Studios, it came out from Bloomberg News that Toho was going to invest 15 billion yen over the next 3 years, which I think came out to, if I read the article correctly, $830 million. That's
Woo!
a big deal.
Woo!
You know, yeah, it really shows that they are committing to the Godzilla IP and bringing it to a new audience that will just increase the popularity of the character for generations to come. And I think there's no better time, right? Like we talked about with the success of Godzilla Minus One, with the continued success of the MonsterVerse, and expanding that to new mediums, as we heard with the DC crossover with the MonsterVerse. They were doing that whole Godzilla versus Kong versus the Justice League comics. That was one of their hottest selling comics last year. So they're doing a sequel to that storyline. Marvel is obviously celebrating the 70th anniversary of Godzilla, as he was their first, when Godzilla went to the comics, Marvel was his first iteration when he first joined up. So it's cool to see Godzilla kind of taking down everybody in the Marvel comics. It's kind of a really just fun, wacky storyline that they're doing there. Even doing like the symbiote Godzilla, which is fun. So clearly the audience is finding new ways to enjoy Godzilla content. And now Toho thinks it's time to create even more, which I love, love, love. Corey, let's go ahead and bring up Toho's basically investment strategy of what they plan on doing here. So it says, Godzilla will evolve from a visual content business into a broader IP-driven brand, strengthening its market presence. We will allocate approximately 15 billion yen over the next 3 years to expand Godzilla's presence across multiple platforms and consumer touchpoints. Whoa. By enhancing the brand value of Godzilla and linking it with a new membership service, we will connect more with fans and further expand the fan base. As you can see, 100% owned IP over 70 years. That has really been part of the success of Toho, is the fact that they've locked down Godzilla. Yes, they've licensed it out to, obviously, America's Hollywood studios with legendaries, even the Sony version that we got back in 1998. So they've definitely had some great success by keeping control, especially IP control over Godzilla. Sometimes it hurts as a YouTuber, but I get it. It's their bread and butter at this point. But it's globally popular, well-known character, absolutely, right? We've talked about how Godzilla's music is so iconic, and really when you see a giant dinosaur-like creature with dorsal fins breaking down a city, you're like, I know who that is. That's Godzilla. So it's wonderful to see that these iconic legendary monsters are gaining the ground and the popularity that we as fans growing up always knew they had in them. So let's talk about some of the first things that Toho's Godzilla strategy of their $15 billion yen is going into. Merchandise and events. Expand licensing opportunities and in-house product development. So more toys, basically, which I don't know if you guys seen some of the ones that have come out with from Iron Studios and many others. The Godzilla toys it's part of what made Godzilla versus Kong so successful. And even the new Godzilla Kong, the New Empire, is that they recognize the toy value, that kids were just buying crazy amounts. And they are now saying, okay, well, let's bump that up because people want these toys. It's in high demand. Let's get it going. So be prepared to see more. And obviously, with the licensing opportunities that they're talking about, if you look closely, the pictures they used are from the MonsterVerse. So that means not even so much from toys, but licensing different IPs that maybe Legendary can go and do some of these spin-off shows that we've heard about, like the Monarch B Team that Ice Cube's son was going to look into, and many others, maybe even some Mothra stuff coming through, so to really expand the MonsterVerse. Or maybe who else has a really great idea that wants to take it another step further. They're going to launch more amusement rides. If you didn't know this, Takashi Yamazaki he made a Godzilla ride for Toho that very much looks similar to the design we got in Godzilla Minus One. It looks like a really cool ride. Corey, it kind of reminds me of the ride that what's the Spider-Man ride at Universal?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Where it's like you're sitting in a
car
car and you're kind of going on a track and, you know, 3D stuff going on and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's awesome.
And hopefully, my hope, especially with the amusement ride stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
Little disappointing that. I wish they mimicked it more off of the old Kong ride. That like
the confrontation ride.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if they can make an animatronic big enough.
Nowadays wouldn't be that excited about it, but us old people would.
Yeah, true. I mean, the new Kong ride they have now that's based more on Peter Jackson's looks pretty good. I haven't been on it, but I would love to at some point. But it's great to see that there's this potential that maybe some of these amusement parks, probably a lot of it is going to be done in Japan, because we do know they have like a Shin Gojira that you can do a zip line down and through his mouth. They have a little attraction there. Obviously, the Takashi Yamazaki Godzilla ride that they do, that would be suspense. Yeah, it would be suspenseful. But it's great to see that possibly, hopefully, we could see new amusement rides that maybe they'll even license out to Universal. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Or which one is the one that Warner Brothers owns, Corey? Six Flags? I think Six Flags is the one that Warner Brothers has ties to with like the Superman ride.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Corey, as a person who is kind of getting into the Godzilla world and King Kong, what type of amusement ride? I know you said the confrontation, but realistically looking at, would you want something more in the, like maybe something in the Monsterverse? Or what do you see as a potential for the ride?
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so I'm more for the animatronic side of things. So like the King Kong, the Jaws side of things. I think another cool thing, Trey, would be like a I don't know how you do it, but like even like a multiverse style ride where like Back to the Future, where you're skipping around to a bunch of different Godzillas and everything like that. So you see multiple Godzillas, which I don't know how you would even make a storyline to that. But ultimately, what I think rides want nowadays is they want some more user interactions and such like that. You see that really popular. So maybe like a Men in Black style ride would be kind of cool, where you're you're painting stuff as a scientist or something like that. For you're like, obviously it's Monarch is running the ride. You know, like very Men in Blacky. Monarch is running the ride, and it's your job to go in and get samples and such like that. So maybe you have to like shoot samples at different creatures, and then all hell breaks loose with craziness, from huge kaiju battle amongst it all or something like that. We disrupt something.
I dig that. That would be fun. I do like, I think I read something with King Donkey Kong saying, give me a GVK ride. Put me right there with Godzilla and Kong throwing it down.
That'd be dope.
Honestly, that would be a brilliant ride to do, because that was obviously a widely popular film. Obviously, with the success of GXK, The New Empire, I think a lot of people, and kind of to what Trevor H was saying, make it a ride through Hollow Earth. You could do that kind of thing that Back to the Future did at Universal Studios, where they did kind of make you go through the Hollow Earth where the T-Rex is. That would be so much fun. I think a lot of fans would enjoy that, and would definitely increase the popularity.
That honestly probably would be a real easy ride to create with like, oh yeah, Monarch is monetizing the tourism side of things, or a private company, Apex, is monetizing Hollow Earth tours, type thing. So like a Star Wars tours, but Hollow Earth style.
That could be cool. Yeah, where you're flying the jet, like kind of how they do with the Millennium Falcon. I dig that. Retail stores, more Godzilla retail store locations. Open new Godzilla stores in Dubai, should be following Tokyo and Osaka. So they're going to open up Godzilla stores globally, which is awesome. Obviously, a lot of them are kind of becoming more online stores. I love watching the Godzilla US store that they post on Instagram a lot all the time about different products they have, because I know there's a few Godzilla shops, I think, out in California. So it just keeps adding to all the creative ideas of how they're just going to make it available to as many people as possible, so that way, in a way, Godzilla doesn't get forgotten, you know. Develop this. Now this is a part that I went freaking nuts on, dude, because it's been a really long time since we had a console game dedicated to Godzilla. We did get that Kong Survival Instincts game, which was fun from 7 levels. I think it did a great job expanding upon the MonsterVerse and things like that. But it still isn't quite the game that I want from Godzilla. I'm thinking Corey remembers. Do you remember playing Godzilla Save the Earth with me?
100%.
My man. Hours, endless hours spent playing Godzilla Save the Earth. I had my wife help me hook up the Xbox 360 so I could start playing it again. And, you know, it's so nostalgic.
But, bro, look at how much, I'm curious how much Fortnite interaction had during the Godzilla and Kong Godzilla time frame, because, bro, that's the last time we played Fortnite. You know, like, and we were playing that hard, bro. Like, we were on it way too late. Who ended up being Godzilla first, by the way?
Technically me. I bought you Kong. You're just talking about how you got the evolved Godzilla, the full-on blue evolved Godzilla before
No, I'm
me.
talking about the big Godzilla.
Okay, so Corey, so if you didn't play the great Fortnite game that came out, I wish they would have continued, or have a way for us to continue to play it, because I was never really interested in Fortnite until that version of the game came out.
I don't want to play any other versions. I'd be camping wherever I could spawn into Godzilla, bro.
Hurtful. But you can tell him, Corey, you became Godzilla first.
Yeah, I became Godzilla first out of the Fortnite group that we had going. So, yeah, it felt awesome. Destroyed a lot of buildings, destroyed a lot of people, and it was a great time.
I think
I may be fooling around too much and doing the roar, but it was
I
good.
did that a lot too. Yeah, no, I think, but it was a great way. I know a lot of people gave Legendary kind of crap about it, because they're like, nowhere in this world do I want to see Godzilla holding a gun or, you know, dancing to some hip hop tune like that. That was just ridiculous. But to me, it's like,
bro, how many hours did we spend just playing Go Go Godzilla?
Right, the Blue Oyster Cult song. Yeah, we spent an obnoxious time just playing Blue Oyster Cult as Godzilla and Kong and Mecha Godzilla. So,
hey, if they would have let me be King Donkey Kong, that would have been even better, buddy.
Right? Yeah. But I mean, I think that was a great example, like you were saying, Corey, that Godzilla was being offered to a younger audience, and not only that, to a very popular game. And it seemed like it was very successful because of the amount of players that we, you know, just from our point of view of playing that game. I would love to hear some numbers sometime from Fortnite.
Dude, could you imagine how great of a game they can make, you know, of Godzilla games? You know, I'm picturing, you know, like modes where you're, you know, your Monarch team at some point, and then a different mission, you're freaking Godzilla tearing things up, you know? Kind of that back and forth type thing, man. It'd be so sweet.
I agree. So the fact that I just read someone's comment, clever girl, I'm guessing. Oh, you know what? I actually recognize that. Very clever. That's from Jurassic World Chaos Theory. Clever Girl 186. I see what you did there. Gigabash. Yeah, Gigabash is fun. I just played that actually with Corey when he came down to hang out for a little bit. Came from another state. We did some Godzilla for a little bit, and I can't believe he also chose Godzilla. It's becoming a real problem. From the dude who was just a King Kong fan, who is now just, you know, taking stuff away from me. You know, now he's the Godzilla fan. I'm kind of confused by it all.
Yeah, I'm probably a bigger Godzilla fan than you.
No, I disagree.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Calm life, big fella.
Um,
Still calm life.
what's that?
Still calm life, bro.
That's true. That's true. So yeah, so expect more console games. Expect more mobile games. As you know, right now, I've been really very involved with the Dangerville team on the Titan Chasers, which is MonsterVerse related. It's been a really fun strategy-based game on mobile app. But I'm curious to see, because I know Toho has a few Godzilla apps already. So what more can they do? I don't know, but maybe you've already seen them start to kind of expand into other areas of I can't remember the newest mobile app game that they had a little Godzilla tie-in, but they even did that Godzilla tie-in, Corey, with Call of Duty Warzone just recently. So just great ways of continuing getting Godzilla attracted to casual fans, as they say there. But the visual content, guys, this is also, as if the gaming wasn't cool enough already, they're now talking about doing more content for TV, digital distribution, and other platforms. One of the big ones they kept talking about, which was animation, anime. So if you liked some of that content like Godzilla Singular Point on Netflix, I thought that was a very intriguing take on the character and kind of reminded me a little bit about Shin Godzilla, where there is many different evolution phases of Godzilla. That was really, really cool. I dug that. There was the Godzilla, I knew it was called Godzilla Earth, but I think they ended up calling it something else, like Godzilla Planet of the Monsters, something like that. It wasn't as loved as I think Godzilla Singular Point, but it was just another great way to kind of show a different side to Godzilla and the many different forms of content that that character can be in, and I think have some success in. Whether the stories, you're allowed to tell more stories and give different creators opportunity to kind of hopefully unchain them a little bit. I know Toho is very protective over their character and their IP, but I think you can have fun with it. You can start doing those different iterations of Godzilla and tweak how that one's origins are or how he looks, and you can come up with some really cool ideas. I mean, just as we've seen, Corey, with the 1998 Sony Godzilla, Zilla has become a very loved character now in a weird way. People have even kind of said, hey, Legendary, bring Zilla back. You know, bring a way to have him in the MonsterVerse, maybe in the Hollow Earth as a younger, evolutionized Godzilla who hasn't quite evolved yet to what the the main Titan is. So personally, Corey, did you get a chance to see any of the anime Godzillas? I don't know if you had Netflix at the time.
The Zilla one, yeah. The Godzilla one, the Zilla one. Remember the what was those, the Zilla animated series? Was that what it was?
You're talking about the original, like the Sony spin-off series that they did, like I think in 1999.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so it's been a minute since you've seen some animated Godzilla. I mean, if you wanted to, I think all of them are fun. Like the Godzilla Planet of the Monsters is an interesting post-apocalyptic world that basically the idea that we had to leave Earth. The humans had to leave Earth at one point because Godzilla was just tearing things apart. The planet became too unsafe. And they had to, leave, but then they started running out of resources because they had been gone for so long. So when they come back, they see their world completely changed. And the monsters on it evolved into these crazy things, and definitely some, like I said, some different takes between Godzilla and maybe some of your other favorite Toho monsters that you would want to check out. So some good options. I'm glad to see, especially with the Gamera anime show that they did recently with that. I thought they did such an incredible job. In fact, that has been my favorite anime kaiju show so far. I would love to see more. I know they're even doing a spin-off comic book series to that Kong Skull Island comic that show that came out on Netflix a couple years ago. So there's gonna be some cool options for sure. And then of course, the final big news, which we kind of already knew this information, but I think it was Toho created some doubt. So I think they wanted to like kind of seal the deal here and be like, this is what's going on. So here it says, produce a theatrical film, produce a new Godzilla movie, written, directed, and virtual effects, supervised by Takashi Yamazaki, who was obviously the incredible director of Godzilla Minus One. We know he was returning. We've known that already. But the way they announced that he was coming back to do another Godzilla movie, the way they worded it, people weren't sure what it meant. And finally, based on Bloomberg News's sources, they say it is a direct sequel to Godzilla Minus One. So that makes me so freaking happy, because that's what they should have done, especially with what they teased at us at the very end of Godzilla Minus One. How do you leave that story? You can't leave that story. It has to be addressed for sure. And I don't think you address it by a couple generations later. You know, I think you need to know what happens to those characters. Corey,
bro,
now that we know,
can we just get a round of applause for Toho? This is how you do things as a studio, my friends, as a company that owns an IP. You know, you are been around for 70 years. You know, other people have been around for that amount of time, if not longer. And some people have a dying studio now. You know, it's dying. You know, DC is what I'm referencing here. And
because they didn't handle it with care.
Exactly. And here we go with Toho, who's handled it with care for over 70 years. They won an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects. And what are they doing? They're doubling down. They're investing in their IP. They're investing in their good stories. And they're investing in Godzilla and Godzilla fans. This is phenomenal news, Trey. And if you're not pumped, I don't know what the heck's wrong with you. Do you even have a pulse right now?
It's a great question. I mean, I think what it suggests, and I think this is the important thing, we heard after Godzilla Minus One, normally like when a successful movie like that comes out, Hollywood just like crank out the next one, and the sequel ends up being crap, you know, because they cranked it out so fast. It was just a money making scheme, basically. They didn't have really anything new to tell. Here, we knew right after Godzilla Minus One came out and the success that happens with that, and even winning the Oscar for Best Visual Effects, the biggest thing that they said, Toho like came out right away, because so many people were like, how have you not announced a sequel? Clearly there's a sequel there. They said, we're going to take our time. We're going to quality. They said quality. Like, we're going to make sure Takashi or whoever approaches us has the right idea, because we want a great film that showcases just how great of a character Godzilla has been throughout the years. He's been silly. He's been iconic. He's been scary, suspenseful, dramatic. You know, there's so many iterations of the character that there's truly something for everyone. But I think what Godzilla Minus One in particular did for the general audience who maybe aren't so much Godzilla fans, I think they looked at it and say, well, this just isn't a monster versus monster silly action flick. You know, this is serious cinema literature right here that you're throwing at us. And Takashi Yamazaki, I think just based on him, he's even kind of said, as he's writing the story, he's like, I'm not quite ready yet with the story. And not only that, he wants to ensure that the technology improves to where that he can really create the film that he wants. So whether that comes out in 3 years, maybe. We saw how quickly Godzilla Minus One came out from when they announced it at, I believe, the 68th Godzilla G-Day. So it's one of those things where I think we're in a very good spot as Godzilla fans.
So Trey, can you do me a favor? I need some Super Battalion interaction. And I know we have about 10 minutes before we have to start wrapping things up before you head out to your pre-screening.
Honestly,
and
probably
everything
more
like
like 5 minutes.
Okay, more like 5 minutes. But will you do a quick poll for me, Trey? We
Okay.
have a bunch of different fans in the chat that are newer Godzilla fans, old time Godzilla fans. I want to know what people are most excited for about this Toho Godzilla strategy. The merchandise and events, the retail stores, the games and digital content coming, or the visual content, movies, and everything like that. So create that poll. And while Trey's doing that, if I could get everybody to hit that like button for me, make sure you guys have subscribed. That would be so awesome. Really would appreciate that. And make sure you guys are liking and sharing this content as well. Things are about to get super crazy next month as Trey's about to have a kid. We'll definitely continue to have content going and everything like that throughout the time, but probably be doing some videos, shorts, and I'll probably be taking over some lives and everything like that. But Trey, if you've completed that poll, I'm also curious what you're most excited for about this new Godzilla strategy from Toho. The merchandise and events, the retail stores, the games, digital content, or the visual content.
You know, as much as I enjoyed Gigabash, it's to me the problem with it is it's not a Godzilla game. You know, it's a kaiju fighting game, which is awesome, but Godzilla's not the focus. He just happens to be a playable character. You know, it's like putting Mortal Kombat in there and having the Predator in there. You know, but he's not the Predator is not the story. You know, he's just a playable character. And so to hear the idea that we're going to get a new console game featuring Godzilla, that makes me ecstatic, you know, because really the last time we had that PlayStation Godzilla game, and that one is pretty fun, but for some reason I didn't get the enjoyment that I got out of something like Godzilla Save the Earth or Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, or Godzilla Melee, I think is what they kind of called it. I personally, what I hope is, I loved what they did with Kong Survival Instincts, right? It's for the simple fact that it was a story mode. I don't want so much like, hey, monsters fighting monsters. Give me, I would love to see like a first person Godzilla game where you can be human at some points and you're trying to evade the Titans attacking and maybe help Godzilla or gain some of the ground of, you know, stopping this, I don't know, maybe a alien invasion, and you're doing some of the things like that while Godzilla's trying to help save the day. And every now and then you can turn into, you know, one mission, you know, and the story makes you Godzilla and you're having to fight something. I would love a story mode for sure. But if I got a monster versus monster Godzilla, another version of Godzilla Save the Earth, or hell, even a remastered version of Godzilla Save the Earth, I would be there. I guaranteed day one I would have that pre-ordered in my box, you know, ready to go and play, and I would binge it for hours. I'm excited for the anime content. If there's a hope for the anime content, because of obviously the success of Godzilla Minus One, I don't expect him to make another live action movie that takes away from Godzilla Minus One. But I still think we need a sequel to Shin Godzilla. The ending to Shin Godzilla was so nuts that I need to know where that director was going with that story. To me, it's still something I question and talk about with friends to this day of like, what do you think they were doing? What did that mean? What was the sequel going to look like? And I need that answer. So if they wanted to do it in an anime version, I think that would be a perfect medium for a Shin Godzilla sequel. How about you?
Dude, you know, obviously we've had some great movies come out lately. I'm super excited for a sequel to Godzilla Minus One. So I'm actually really looking forward to that. So if I had to pick something other than the movie, I'm gonna have to go with a video game, man. I really want to see some like legit video games versus like the. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not interested in the Kong Skull Island style gameplay or that other one that recently came out with Godzilla, where it's all just kind of 2D-ness, you know, and mazes and such like that. That's not really my game style. Yeah. So I'm hoping that there's some cool stuff in the gaming world as well. Animated content, could be, interesting as well. Can you get as good as a Clone Wars with a animated series? I don't know. Animated series is super tough in my opinions, but I'm not that I'm not interested in it. That's kind of where I'm at, Trey. So I say let's wrap up that poll so we can see where people are at.
So here we go, wrapping up the poll in 3, 2, 1, end. Let's see what y'all were saying. Okay, so out of almost 30 votes, what are you most excited for the future of Godzilla? I said movie, games, animated content, and merch. Here's what you guys said. At 3%, merch.
At 3% merch?
22% animated content. So anime, digital. Tied with 22% games.
Oh.
And then, of course, the movie, I think people are just still on the hype train for Godzilla -1, which I'm not surprised by that. I think,
right.
And I think that's why Takashi Yamazaki, it's almost more of a challenge to do it again in a sequel, to create that type of love for that movie, because now you set the bar, and -1 is going to be regarded as one of the greatest films of all time, in Godzilla movies especially. That how do you do that again, or do it better? That's going to be tough. I don't see how you can do it. I think it's going to be a great movie. I don't know. The surprise is gone. But maybe if there's one person who could pull it off, I think you got the right guy for the job.
Man, that's awesome. I'm getting excited, buddy. This is great news.
I agree, dude. So it makes me very happy to see that Toho is really putting. I don't think it's a gamble. I think this is a for sure thing of things aren't as successful, but I think Toho has always been very smart about how they handle their business, and very protective of it. So when they send out something, I think it's going to be quality. I don't think they're going to be cramming content down our throats simply to make a quick buck because the time is right. I think they look at this as, okay, this is a popular character and we haven't really pushed it until now. It's time to push it. So Toho, they're investing big to globalize the King of Monsters. Guys, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for a quick little live stream. Like you said, tonight, my Wonder Wife and I are going to go see The Accountant 2, so we will be doing a movie review on that channel, so you already know what to do. Smash that like, share this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Replay crew, leave a comment about what you are most excited for to see in the Godzilla universe, whether it's from the Monsterverse with Legendary, all the comics that they're doing, the spin-offs, the movie that has been delayed, or what Toho is about to do with video games, anime, merch, more toys. Let us know. Godzilla -1 or Godzilla -2, whatever they decide to call it. This is going to be a main hub for all that Godzilla news, so subscribe away. Guys, I am your host, Trey, with the best co-host I could ever ask for, Super Bro Corey. And don't forget to tune in weekly.
Same bat time.
Same bat channel. See you later, guys. Have a wonderful night.
And now a special message from
our sponsors.
Have a good night, everybody.
See you later.
And now a special message brought to you by the Titan Preparedness Plan.
With the recent spike in Titan sightings circulating on social media, proactive preparation for a Titan emergence event is crucial. A single towering force of nature has the potential to forever alter the lives of millions. It is our mission to help you prepare for that force. The Titan Preparedness Plan is your guide to staying safe in the face of monsters. These are the 3 steps you need to know. 1. Know before you go. Identify the location of your nearest Titan shelter and practice navigating a Titan evacuation route with your family on a weekly basis. 2. Run and take cover. In the case of a Titan emergence, calmly sprint to the nearest Titan shelter. If your designated shelter is inaccessible or at capacity, seek the basement or lowest floor of a nearby building. 3. Stay informed. Follow any further instruction from local authorities and stay informed using your mobile device, television, or radio. We can't stop a Titan emergence, but we can safeguard our lives. Join us in building a safer, more resilient community. We are here to protect you.